What's up, family? Man, it's been hectic. It's been hectic. Man, first and foremost, man, I bless each and every one of you. You know, man, may God bless you. May God keep you. May God comfort you. You know what I mean? Man, may God draw you closer unto Him. Man, I want to share a couple things with you guys, family. I'm back here in the Himalayan sea salt cave, and man, it's so beautiful, it's so relaxing, it's so peaceful, you know. But the other day, I went out. Me and my queen were hanging around New York City, and there's this across from the Barclays Center, where the Brooklyn Nets play basketball. There's this beautiful Kobe mural, and we went over there, and she took a couple of pictures of me. This other lady took some pictures of the both of us right next to this Kobe and his daughter mural. And then we went across the street to the Barclays Center. I took a picture of Kevin Durant and the center. There's a couple of people that I've mentored that love Kevin Durant. And the trip is family. After that, we went to Ellis Island. Just went all over the place, right? I saw the Statue of Liberty and all this other stuff. Took a bunch of pictures. But for some reason this morning, when I went to my phone, I could not find not one picture that I took, or that my queen took, or that this other lady took that we saw on the phone. We could not find either one of those pictures, any of those Kobe pictures, any pictures from the Barclays Center, you know, of Kevin Durant, any of those, you know what I mean? That's 3 different people taking pictures on my phone and her phone, and none of those pictures was there. Not one of those pictures was there. They weren't in the deleted files or anything, you know. And man, I don't know what happened to those pictures. I don't know what that means, but we're gonna have to go back up there to get those pictures done. This morning, I went out to go do what is today? Thursday? Today's Thursday. And so I went out, Quinn and I went out to the beach, and we went to go make this video. We wanted to do a live session out on the beach, talking about meditation, what we're getting ready to talk about today. Man, I went out to the beach because I wanted the waves in the background. I wanted you guys to be able to see the waves crashing around me. And for some reason, when we're upstairs in our mom's place, I was on my phone, on the internet, I was responding to comments and everything, right? And somehow, I don't know how it happened, somehow we go out to the beach, and I have no service, none whatsoever. I've done lives out there, everything, can't get on any way, shape or form, no service whatsoever. And so I'm struggling trying to do a live out there, can't get it done. Do a video out there, and man, it's just the wind was so bad, you know, it was all chaotic. Anyways, we come back in, and I'm trying to figure out, man, I still don't have any service. What's going on with my phone? I was just on my phone. How is it now I don't have any service? And somehow, I don't know how this happened. I've never had this happen before. I responded to some messages on YouTube, put my phone up, went out to the beach and recorded and tried to record these videos. Somehow, the button in the settings to turn off your service was turned off. My cell phone service was cut off. That button in there, you know what I mean? And I still don't understand how that happened, because you have to deliberately go into your settings, click that button to shut it off, and none of that transpired. I didn't do any of that, you know what I mean? But that happened somehow, and so I couldn't do a live this morning. And so as I was sitting there thinking about it, it's like, okay, you know what? We're going to the sea salt. You know, we're coming back here today, and man, I'll just do the video in here, and this is where it's at. So I apologize for it being dark, but man, it is what it is, you know what I mean? And I just want you guys to see around in here. There's nobody else in here other than my queen and I, and this is all pink Himalayan sea salt. I don't know if you can see my queen right there. But I love like these columns and stuff in here. There's like big bricks, you know what I mean? And the floor is just all regular sea salt, you know what I mean? And so, man, I love this place. You know, I love this place. And so I'm talking about meditation. years ago. Um, People ask me all the time, man, why are you so calm? Why are you so just peaceful, just relaxed? You know what I mean? It's like nothing ever bothers you, nothing ever sets you off. Family, I've been meditating for a long time. You know what I mean? I've been meditating for a long time. This is not something I just started doing. You know what I mean? Man, I started meditating in '94, you know, and it's crazy because when I started meditating, what God had me do was learn how to, and I was at the time, I was in Guam, I was in the Air Force and stationed on the island of Guam. And when I started meditating, I would sit there and I would just imagine hovering right above the ocean. I love ocean, the water. I'm a Pisces, but I would imagine hovering right above the water and just floating in the air, right above the water. And as the waves went, the ebb and flow of the waves, that's how my body went. You know what I mean? And so my body's just going back and forth with the waves, you know, and I'm just going with the breeze and just, you know, in and out, in and out. And that's how I first started meditating, you know what I mean? And one day, I'm a PADI certified rescue scuba diver. I love the water. I love going deep underwater. And one day, went out to go scuba diving. And again, this is in '94. And God was like, Elijah, look at this. The waves were choppy as crap. It was like at least 3 to 4 feet, you know, just the waves coming in. They were 3 to 4 feet tall, you know, and it was rough. And we started not to go out. And God was like, no, you have to go out. I want to show you something. I want to show you something. I want to do something, give you an experience that's going to change your life. And I'm like, okay, God, whatever, you know what I mean? And so we go to the water. And again, it's choppy. I got on all my gear, you know, my people are with me, they're going scuba diving with. And so we go to the water and we're fighting the waves to get out, right? Because we got to walk out into it, right? And so we're going out. And as we're going out, God is like, pay attention to this. Look at your surroundings. Look at your surroundings. And it's windy as crap. The waves are coming in. They're just throwing us back and forth. And man, we're struggling trying to get out because it's so choppy. It's so windy, right? We're literally fighting against the current, literally fighting against the waves just to get out into the water. And God was like, pay attention to this. This is life changing. Pay attention to this. Are you paying attention? I'm like, yeah. And so we're fighting, struggling, trying to get out to the water, you know? And so God's like, okay, now go down. And so we go down up under the water. And man, family, I kid you not. If you've ever seen the movie Avatar, you know, just the vibrant colors, the fluorescent pinks and fuchsias and reds and yellows and golds and greens and purples and blues and all these different hues. Man, you get up under the water and I don't care how choppy it was at the top. Now we got 15 to 20 feet underwater, family, and it was so calm. I'm gonna say that again. We got 15 to 20 feet underwater and it was calm. The fish were swimming around in little schools as though there was nothing going on above them, as though there was no current, as though there was no struggle. They couldn't feel the effects of the waves crashing all around us. I was 15 feet up. And God was telling me, Elijah, this is meditating. This is what meditation is all about. Stay with me, family. And so it doesn't matter what's going on in your life. It doesn't matter how rocky things are in your life. It doesn't matter how choppy things are going around you. It doesn't matter how chaotic your environment is. It doesn't matter how messy it is. It doesn't matter how turbulent it is. Go within. And you guys hear me say that all the time. Go within. Get outside of your ego. Get outside of this mind up here and go down. And God will show me, it's like, Elijah, get out of your head. That's where everything is choppy. That's where everything is chaotic. That's where everything is messy. Get out of there. Go deep within you. Go down to your spiritual man. Go down to your soul. And there you'll find peace. There you'll find joy. There you'll find forgiveness. There you'll find love. There you'll find acceptance. And so, man, as I went down on the water and I'm looking at all these fish and they're just swimming around, just peaceful, just like they're in heaven. And what that showed me was like, man, this is what meditation is all about. You know, people always talk about calm the mind. No, meditation is not about calming the mind. And what God was telling me and showing me about the wave, you can't calm those waves. The waves are going to crash. Those waves, that's just life. It is what it is. Accept it for what it is. Stop trying to fight against the waves. Stop trying to fight against the current. You're not going to win that battle. You're not going to win that battle. You're not going to have those waves be still. And so often we want life to be so peaceful up here. And we're fighting and struggling, trying to have a peaceful life up here. And God is saying, no, learn to go within. Learn to go down to your soul, to your spiritual being. And there you'll find that peace. There you'll find the joy and all the other stuff, regardless of your circumstances. And so family, I'm here to tell you, regardless of what the hell you're going through, you can have peace, you can have love, you can have acceptance, you can have joy, you can have gratitude, you can have all those things you want in life. But you got to get out of your ego, you got to go down to your spiritual being. And so what God was saying was like, Elijah, the waves are going to come. You're going to have the haters. You're going to have all the naysayers. You're going to have all the doubters. You're going to have all those people constantly trying to throw up your past. You're going to have all these people saying, but you're not good enough for this, and you're not doing this, and you don't believe this, and that's all the waves crashing all around you. You can't change that. Nothing you do is ever going to make everybody accept you. Everybody's not going to accept you. You're always going to have haters. You're always going to have self-righteous, intolerant people saying, you're not doing this right. You didn't do this. You don't believe this, and all this other stupid stuff. Learn to go within. Learn to go down to your spiritual being, to your soul, man. Ignore all the distractions and all that, all the waves crashing around you, all the wind and all this stuff coming in. That's all distractions. That's all distractions to keep us from having peace, to keep us from being grateful, to keep us from being forgiving, to keep us from being loving, to keep us from being accepting and tolerant of others. Don't allow the outside noise, don't allow the chaos going on around you to change who you are, to alter who you are. Learn to go within. Learn to go deep within you. And it's a trip. That's where you're going to find God. That's where you're going to find God. And God doesn't have to change your circumstances in order to change your life. God doesn't have to give you $1 million to change your life. God doesn't have to give you a king, a queen, whatever, to change your life. In the middle of your struggle, you can have peace. In the middle of your hell, you can have joy. In the middle of divorce and all this other crap, you can have joy and peace and love. It's not about your circumstances. It's not about your environment. It's about you learning how to go within to find those things. To having that peace in the middle of your storm, to having that joy in the middle of your chaos, to having that love in spite of the turmoil and the trauma and the drama you got to deal with. Trip. Last year, I flew to Georgia to see my sons graduate. My youngest son graduate high school. And I was flying back to California. And man, they put me around 5 kids, you know what I mean, babies. 3 of them were like 2 and under, you know what I mean? And the other one was like maybe 4, one was like maybe 5, you know what I mean? And I'm like young kids, and they're screaming and crying, and it's just, you know, what little kids, and I'm not mad at them, that's just what kids do, that's what babies do, you know what I mean? And we flew over Texas, and man, the turbulence was like bad, you know what I mean? And man, the plane got rocky and everything, and people were like tripping out. These kids are screaming, and it's like, at first it was like, oh my God, you know what I mean? And it's like, Elijah, and I hear God, Elijah, you got this. This is what meditating is about. You know this. What are you tripping on, right? And so as soon as I heard the voice, it's like, And see, so often, man, we want to meditate, you know, to escape life. We want to meditate to ignore all of our trauma and our drama and all the hell that we're going through. And so many of us use meditation as an escape, not to deal with this mess. And what God was telling me is like, Elijah, no. In the midst of your hell, you can calm your mind. In the midst of all this noise, in the midst of the turmoil of the plane, you can't control the plane. You can't control the environment that the plane is going through. You can't control that these kids are scared and these kids' ears are popping and they're screaming and crying and carrying on. But even amongst all of this, you can still have peace. You can still have joy. Why are you allowing your circumstances to dictate your peace? Why are you allowing your circumstances to dictate whether you have joy? Why are you allowing your circumstances to dictate whether you have happiness, whether you feel fulfilled? The purpose of meditating is, in spite of my circumstances, I can still have peace. In spite of the trauma and the craziness I got to deal with, I can still have joy. That's true meditation. That's meditation on a whole other level. And you only get that by connecting with God. Meditating, again, I've said this a lot, meditating is learning how to sit there and listen to God. Meditating is you learning how to connect with God. Whether you close your eyes and imagine you're hovering above water, whether you're sitting in a beautiful place like this with the music and the water trickling in the background, whether you're out in nature, whether you're taking a shower, whether you're listening to jazz or classical music, or whatever you do to meditate. And again, there is no certain way to meditate. The correct way of meditating is whatever works for you. Whatever works for you. You know what I mean? And so don't get caught up in, man, you got to meditate a certain way. Whatever works for you that helps you go within. Whatever works for you that helps you go into and connect with your spiritual being. Connect with the God within you. That's meditating. That's meditation. And so again, meditating, the purpose of meditating is to connect with God. And it's not to control your environment or to control your circumstances. It's to connect with God regardless of your circumstances, regardless of the hell you're in, regardless of the turmoil going on around you. You can still maintain that peace, that harmony, that love, that joy, that gratitude. And that's the aspect of life that just dumbfounds people. That's the aspect of life that just blows people away. How can you be so peaceful in this hellish situation? How can you have so much joy? How can you be so giving? How can you be so loving? How can you be so forgiving in the midst of all this hell? In the midst of them dogging you out, in the midst of them lying on you, in the midst of them trying to sabotage your character, and whoop-de-whoop-de, whatever the hell it is that they're doing, how can you be so peaceful? How can you be so loving? Because I understand the purpose and the power of meditation. Man, family, I'm not going to stand here long because I want to go sit down there with my queen and just relax. But I want to do this video here in this beautiful environment and just talk to you guys about the power and the purpose of meditating. It's not to change your circumstances at all. Don't go into meditating thinking that, okay, well, if I meditate on this long enough, my finances are going to be fixed. If I meditate long enough and strong enough and hard enough, man, I'm going to change this person right here. And I'm going to make this appear. And I'm going to manifest my queen. I'm going to manifest my king. I'm going to manifest $1 million. I'm going to manifest success. No, that's not what meditating is about. That's not the purpose of meditating. Meditating is not about controlling your environment. Meditating is not about dictating or changing your circumstances in any way, shape, or form. Meditating is just connecting with God, connecting with the spiritual being within you. Man, only then can you find true happiness. Only then can you find true joy. Only then can you find that true and agape love, as so many people want to call it. You know what I mean? is by going within. Going within. And you learn to understand, man, through it all, it's all good. You know what I mean? Through all of the hell, through all what, man, it's all good. It's all working out for me. Why? Because it's all drawing me closer to God. It's all bringing me closer to my greater being, the greater version of myself. Why? So I'm not reacting and snapping and going left on people and just being ignorant and just retaliating, doing stupid stuff and saying stuff that I'm going to regret later. You know what I mean? Through it all, man, I can still be loving. Through it all, I can still be patient. Through it all, I can still be me. I can still be the godly man that I am. It don't matter what goes on around me. I can still have that joy. I can still have that peace. Man, family. You know what I mean? I could taste the salt. I could taste the salt. Man, this, again, I'm gonna show you guys this environment. It's just a waterfall. Oh, it's like, and again, everything in here is just Himalayan sea salt, except for the cheers, obviously. It's my queen right there. I don't know if you guys can see her.
Hi, family. Be blessed.
And again, the ground, let me show you guys, it's just regular sea salt, man. And so I'll sit here for a little bit and I'll just ground in it, you know what I mean? I'll just sit here and just rub my feet in the salt, you know? I'll just rub some salt in my hands. I got a couple of crystals that I carry with me everywhere I go. You guys already know this, you know what I mean? I always have a piece of labradorite with me in one pocket or one hand, and a piece of amethyst with me, you know what I mean? And here's my piece of labradorite that I keep with me. Here's my amethyst heart that I have with me. And so I'll just sit these in the salt and let them cleanse, you know, while we're in here. And man, I'll probably end up falling asleep, you know what I mean? I'll go into a meditation and just relax and probably fall asleep. But man, family, I love you guys. I bless you guys. Happy healing. Peace.